My dear people of Papua New Guinea, I bring to you warm greetings for a happy, prosperous, and a very hope-filled New Year 2022. Whilst walking with optimism into 2022, I want to thank firstly our God who looked after us in 2021 right through the burden of COVID-19 and the hard economic times we faced. God's watch over the past gives us total confidence that the future will be good and bright for each and every one of us. In this New Year's message, I would like to take the opportunity to remind us all of the significance of this year and the responsibility of each of us in what we have in contributing towards its success, as well as the success of things that will follow in its stead. This year, 2022, is a very important year. It is this year that Papua New Guinea will return to the polls to elect its 11th parliament. Only some weeks ago, your government passed the 2022 national budget at a 22 billion kina mark, making this budget the biggest in the 46-year history of our country. Never before had our country reached the 20 billion kina mark until now. But it is not just our budget numbers and allocations that matters, but more importantly, the policies behind it. This is to allow for a greater impact for our country in not just 2022, but more importantly, a positive, sustainable future, especially in our efforts to unlock rural Papua New Guinea and to return our economy to being debt-free by year 2034. Over the 3 years since coming to office, your government has successfully and steadily reduced our fiscal deficits from a minus 8.6% in 2020 to a minus 5.9% projected for this year, 2022. This sets our feet onto an optimistic economic path where, at this rate of progress, we can easily see budget surplus on the horizon, even as early as year 2027, and a zero sovereign debt status by year 2033. And with our investments into Sovereign Wealth Fund, we can be a lender to our neighbors by 2040. To start this journey, the year 2022 national budget also captures the areas where previously various other governments have not given enough attention: health, holistic education, agriculture, the growth of small and medium businesses to create a bigger economy supporting the middle class for Papua New Guinea, downstream processing of our natural resources, and infrastructure development to connect rural PNG. Let me touch briefly on each of these for more context. For education, for instance, we are picking up on all school fees, from elementary right through high school, colleges and universities by allocating over 800 million kina. For all who have left schools along the way, we have options of continual lower education through the flexible open distance education and also linked to SME and TVET education programs. We want no child in our country to be left behind, and everyone must become a very positive contributor to our country's economy and our country's future. In the health sector, your government has allocated over 2.8 billion kina in our budget to rehabilitate the decaying health system that has resulted from many years of neglect by governments of past. Beginning this year, your government is building 22 world-class hospitals in each of our provinces, including our special autonomous region of Bougainville. Altogether, we've allocated 470 million kina for it. Another 60 million kina is going towards the construction of the heart and cancer facilities at PNG's leading referral hospital, the Port Moresby General Hospital. This is because I do not want to see Papua New Guineans going to seek health services overseas. And I have directed that in our country, health services access must be within 1 hour reach, whether you're walking or you are traveling by boat or you're traveling by car or you are flying in. Every health services must be within 1 hour reach. In the agricultural sector, we have allocated over 200 million kina so that it can reach 80% of our rural-based population. Our government's initiative of price support program and agricultural interventions are continuing, besides the direct support we are giving to various cash crop sectors and areas. In the micro, small, medium enterprises, your government is spending another 200 million kina to grow our medium and small enterprises, and we'll be spending in that sector for the next 10 years. This follows through the success of 2021, where over 300 small and medium businesses have started out of low-cost business borrowings Papua New Guineans have made. This is from the 100 million kina the government had installed at BSP to implement our policy on growing our MSMEs. In the downstream processing space, an area long talked about by many governments but hardly have ventured into, my government have begun allocating 100 million kina into Pacific Marine Industrial Zone, for instance, and this will be based in the first instance in Manus and Medang. This is well overdue because Papua New Guineans will start to process fish that we catch in our waters, and to ensure we keep all the benefits in the value chain, such as jobs and other spin-offs. The PMI jet begins this year. Furthermore, our focus on downstream processing will be for all sectors. Sectors like mining, petroleum, forestry, agriculture too, so we can add value to our resources and create more ripple economic gains, including employment and kina entrapment in our domestic economy. With such focuses, for instance in agriculture, we would like to put a ban sometimes into the future on imports of foods like rice and beef, those that we can grow and process locally. This journey has already started when we took office and will be entrenched in 2022 and going forward into the future. In continuing our efforts to build our country bigger, build our economy better, and to make Papua New Guinea the richest black Christian nation as I envisage, or happy, wealthy, and wise as Somare's Vision 2050 puts it, our signature Connect PNG program puts in place the country's enabling infrastructures, such as roads, airports, wharves, jetties, airstrips, bridges, electricity, and telecommunications. For instance, over the last 2 years since we've been in government, from 2019 to 2021, we are building over 323 roads, and we have covered over 1,900 kilometers, mostly in rural Papua New Guinea. We have secured funding programs for all our ports and jetties. We have secured funding programs for our power line programs. We are connecting our airports and airstrips by extending the CADI program that the Somalia government last secured in 2009. So all our airports and airstrips are rich and connected. All this will continue over the next decade to achieve 100% connectivity by the time we come to 2040. As for our resources within the extractive sector, program Gold Mine is set to reopen in April 2022 with a far superior terms in our favor. In terms of PNG content in the extractive resource sector, POGRA has set the pace for every negotiation that follows. I speak in the context of Penang, Wafi Golpu, progressing Papua LNG, and every other project that's coming to the future. It is time we take back what is rightfully ours. Our largest share of the benefits in our own natural resources God has blessed us with must come back to our country. But of course, with greatest respect to our investors, making a fair share of return on the investment within the context of laws that govern our country. Why am I mentioning Budget 2022 all over again? Because together with the national general elections, this makes 2022 an absolutely critical year. It is the year that will determine the leadership that will not only carry the budget to the end of 2022 and put in place the subsequent one, but more importantly, carry our country into its Golden Jubilee anniversary in 2025, when we turn 50 as a nation. The fiscal path the Marape government has carved out is still a sensitive one, to be treated with care and respect if we are to make more progress than we have made thus far. The economic hole that PNG has been plunged into over the last decade is so deep. Any government taking reins beginning this year must be just as smart, or if not smarter, to be able to rescue the country and bring its feet into true prosperity. Vision 2050 summons us to act prudently to reach the goal where, as a country, we are all happy, healthy, and prosperous by year 2050. That is why I appeal to you all, our voting population, to bear this in mind as you prepare yourselves for the national general elections. Remember the responsibility you carry as a true holder of democratic power. You hold one of the greatest powers given to man, the power to elect into government a man or a woman to represent your interests. Because of this, the responsibility that you bear is just as great. With great power comes great responsibility, as it has been said. You must therefore exercise this responsibility with utmost care and caution. I appeal to you, voters, my people, to elect your leaders this year, 2022, based on merit and merit alone. Make your assessments based on leadership qualities and standing in community, his or her credentials, the strength of character of that candidate of your choice. My people, we must rise above all the pettiness and self-centeredness and greed that has for so long chained us to stagnation and repression. I appeal to you all, no more voting on tribal lines. No more voting because someone has given you money or material things. This must stop. Enough is enough if you care for your country. The power you hold in your hand, the power to elect someone else in your place in a democratic government, is worth so much more. It is a power that makes governments, moves and transforms economies, mobilizes countries for the better. This power you have, and if you only realize how much you can move Papua New Guinea forward and make it a prosperous, powerful country, as powerful as maybe the United States of America, you will then put to better use your power when you are voting. As the head of government, I am totally committed to funding the national general elections because I believe that this will assist you make a better choice. We are committing 600 million kina, much higher than what O'Neill government committed in 2017 to host the elections, to make it safe and fair so everyone of voting age can have a say and exercise their democratic rights and their powers of voting. Our budget for this year is set, and I am pleased with the team headed by Treasurer the Honorable Ian Saki for putting together a very respectable budget amidst the challenges of COVID-19. I am very mindful of the trajectory our country is on, especially with relation to key national milestones such as our upcoming 50th anniversary, which plays a very essential role in measuring our progress thus far as a nation. In no more than 4 years, PNG will celebrate its Golden Jubilee. It is therefore crucial that we elect capable leaders, women and men who would put their country ahead of self, like the team who stood with me at Lolowata when lust for power and money played out in 2020. Leaders to be elected must not only be educated and aware of 21st century expectations, but more importantly must be grounded in Christian and Melanesian characteristics of selflessness, love, care, and sharing. They must have exercised integrity and wisdom in their lives to be able to serve our country bigger and better. Strong men and women who can deliver to our people health, wealth, and prosperity as espoused by Vision 2050. 2022 is the beginning of a new chapter in a lot of ways. This year we stand on the cusp of history with new generation of leaders coming through. We will have leaders, many of whom would have been born after 1975, the year our country gained nationhood. And we have lost many of our founding leaders last year, 2021. The great Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare, the greatest amongst them, Sir Mekere Murata, Sir Silas Atopare, Sir Paulus Matane, Sir Ronald Toviu, to name a few. These are leaders with impeccable qualities who brought our country to this point, and they are passing on the baton of leadership to this generation. The onus is upon us now to take Papua New Guinea further and far. Let us make 2022 count during the national general elections to bring in the next generation of leadership strong enough to move our country forward and beyond 50 years of our nationhood. And I appeal to our people to vote with purpose and vote with power. Use your voting power wisely and do not sell your birthright for a plate of food. Your country needs you to be wise in 2022. As I close, I make a final call to all our people, including politicians and residents, to respect each other and each other's rights, to be law-abiding as we live through 2022. Let us commit to respect the child and wife in your house, the women and children in your community and workplace, the elderly and those living with disabilities amongst us. Be kind and warm to our foreign residents and visitors in our country. By doing this, you will have truly contributed to taking back Papua New Guinea from the wrong road and putting our country onto the right road to economic independence, where we are not leaving anyone behind. I want to conclude by thanking all hands who helped our country in 2021. Our people and the praying Christian churches for living through with understanding of the hard times we lived in 2021. Our business and civil community, our foreign investors and our bilateral partners and multilateral partners, our judiciary and parliament for serving us. I want to also think of our president in the autonomous region of Bougainville, His Honorable Ismail Toroma, and our people in Bougainville, and our faithful public servants who served us right across our country, especially those teachers and doctors and nurses and community health workers with our missionaries who are serving in the remotest parts of our country through the hardships that they live with. I just want to thank each and every one of you. It was a total privilege serving you all in 2021. I look forward to your support and to work with you all again in 2022. In conclusion, I thank our God once again for the blessings and protection in 2021 and the past. I wish you all a happy new year as we look forward to our God's continuing care in 2022 and beyond. May God bless you all wherever you are.